Hey guys, how you doing? Yes, my name is Kathu and welcome to my channel, Learn Maths with Kathu. So, in our last lesson, when we were talking about composite numbers, I left you with one question for practice. Did you try answering the question? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave the link in the description box below so that you are all on the same page. I don't want to leave anybody behind. So, what was the question? How many composite numbers do we have between 19 to 31? Okay? Do you remember what we said composite numbers are? Composite numbers, we said, are numbers that have more than two factors. Numbers that are not prime numbers are composite numbers. But of course, we have an exception. One is the exception because it's neither a prime number nor is it a composite number. So let's go through the numbers from 19 to 31 real quick. So, okay, so 19, is 19 a composite number? No, 19 is not a composite number. Okay, 20 is a composite number. 21 is a composite number. 22 is a composite number. 23 is prime. 24 composite. 25 composite. 26 composite. 27 composite. 28 composite. 29 prime. 30 composite. And 31 is a prime number. It's not a composite number. So the composite numbers we have from 19 to 31 are 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 30. Okay? So these are the composite numbers that we have between 19 and 31. So that means how many composite numbers do we have in total? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can conclude that we have 9 composite numbers between 19 and 31. Are we together? That was quite easy, right? Okay, so today, let's go through the topic that I want us to cover today. Today, I want us to go through a very interesting topic. Today, I want us to talk about rounding off whole numbers. What does rounding off mean, and why is it necessary to learn it? Like, why was it even included in the math syllabus in the first place? Well, that's a brilliant question. Rounding off simply means using an approximate number instead of the exact value. Like, it basically means replacing a number with a simpler number without changing its value. Okay, so rounding off, we can say, is more or less replacing a very long and tiresome number with a number that's closer to what it really is, a number that's way easier to use. Okay, And we know that rounded off numbers are definitely less accurate numbers. But since they're easier to work out, why not? Okay? Like, I mean, why will you struggle with something if you know an easier way to do the same thing that will give you the same results? Let's say, for instance, you're taking yourself to school. Okay? Let's say you know two routes that will take you to school. Okay? You know route A and route B. Okay? And you can use either route very comfortably because you are quite familiar with them. So we are assuming that you are walking to school, okay? So you know very well that route A is the shortest route, which is roughly 5 kilometers, okay? And route B is a very long route, which is roughly 20 kilometers, okay? If I know this, then which route will I use to go to school? Yes, you are very right. Route A is what I will use to go to school because it has more advantages than disadvantages. When I use route A, I'll get to school faster and on time, and I won't get tired of walking because 5 kilometers is not a long distance, right? So that means that I will never go to school using route B because where will I struggle and get to school late when I can easily use route A and avoid all that stress? Same thing here. It's easier to add rounded numbers like 6,000 plus 4,000, okay? Than it is to add exact values like 5,869 plus 4,131. Okay? So knowing exact values can be very unnecessary in some cases. So in such instances, we round off numbers to get the approximate values since we don't need to know the exact values. Okay? If you want to know how many people go to my church, my first answer would be if you ask me how many people go to my church, my first answer would be 4,800 people. Okay? But the person who's asking me that question might doubt me. So another guess would be 4,790. Okay? But that doesn't seem true either. So when I realize that you're still doubting what I'm saying, I start realizing that I need to say the exact number because the person that I'm talking to seems to want an exact number. So I'll tell the person the exact number, which is 4,786. Okay? So at first, I really didn't think that anybody cared to know the exact value. Like when I'm asked how many people are in my church, it's easier to use approximate values because approximate values are simpler and not many people care about exact values. So when I tell someone else that there are roughly 4,800 people in my church, that person might leave it there because it's not like he's doing a census or something. So 4,800 might be precise enough. He just needs an approximate. Okay? So from our example, we can see that 4,800 and 4,790 are rounded off numbers. Okay? They are estimates. Okay? So now that we have understood the importance of this topic, how do we round off numbers? Let's go through some examples so that we can understand better. Okay? So if you've been asked to round off this number, round off to the nearest hundreds, okay? To the nearest hundreds. Okay? So if you've been given a question like this, in this case, you need to know where the hundredth digit is, because that's the digit that will determine how our rounded off number will look like, okay? And the place value is a topic that you need to be conversant with, so I'll leave the link in the description box below so that we're all on the same page. So in this example, ones, tens, hundreds, six is in the hundreds. 6 is in the hundredth place. So in this case, 6 is the most important digit in our number because it's in the hundredth place. And the question is asking us to round off this number to the nearest hundred. Okay? So now that we know that, should we round the number up or down? Okay? So the digit to the right of 6 is what determines whether we are supposed to round the number up or down, okay? So if the digit to the right of 6 ranges from 0 to 4, if it ranges from 0 to 4, the digit 6 does not change. That's what we call rounding down, okay? That's what we call rounding down. Okay, so here we'll need to use a different example. So we'll do this example a bit later. So if we are given a number like this number here. If we are given a number like this, and we are asked, when we are told to round it off to the nearest hundred, then that means that the most important digit will be 6, because it's in the hundreds place. Ones, tens, hundreds. Are we together? So that means that the digit 6 will remain unchanged because the digit 3 is less than 5. Okay? So when we replace the digit after 6 with 0, we'll get a rounded number, which is 473,600. Okay, that's why we call it rounding down. Okay, and I know you've noticed that I'm mentioning digits and numbers interchangeably. So if you don't know what the difference is, I'll leave the link to that video in the description box below. Okay, so however, we need to remember that the digit to the left of 6, in this case, always remains the same whenever we are rounding off. It doesn't matter when we are rounding up. It doesn't matter whether we are rounding up or down, okay? So let's go through the first question. Okay? Okay, so now that we've understood what rounding down means, we also need to understand what rounding up means. And so in this very first example that I had given you, this number here, we said that 6 is the most important digit because we've been asked to round off to the nearest hundreds, okay? And since 7 is greater than 5, we will increase by 1. Okay, we will increase this digit by 1, okay? So that means when you round off this number to the nearest hundreds, our answer will automatically be, yes, when we add this plus 1, so our rounded off number will be 473,700, okay? Because we've added 1 here. Are we together? Yes, and that's basically it. So as usual, I'll leave you with one question for practice. Is it true to say that this number rounded off to the nearest thousand is this number here? Is it true to say that? So, yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Math is pretty easy and fun, right? Exactly. Practice makes perfect. So if I were you, I would look for some rounding off questions to practice with so that the concept sticks. If you enjoyed the lesson, feel free to like, share, because sharing is caring, and subscribe so that you don't miss any time I upload a new video. Subscribing is free. Yay! Okay, see you in 2 weeks' time. Same place, same time. Bye!